Thanks for taking a few moments to watch this video about the greeting and welcoming ministry at New Life Community Church. It's one of the most important ministries of the church because we really feel called to be a community of hospitality. We want to welcome the stranger. We want to welcome the newcomer. We also want to welcome those who have come here every Sunday for as long as they can remember. We just want to be a place where anybody and everybody can come and feel like they are welcome and received and come in with a sense of warmth. And so we want to do the best we can with the welcoming and greeting ministry. And so I wanted to just give a couple of tips on how to do that well, because sometimes it can be a challenge. The first tip, and certainly the most important tip, is when you're a welcomer or a greeter, whether you're on the sidewalk or in front of the church at the front door or in the lobby, you want to make sure that you're smiling. You want to make sure that you're in a good mood, that when people come in, that you are really glad to see them. You want to, if you're if you wake up in a bad mood on Sunday morning and you're supposed to be a greeter, you need to find a way to change your mood, to alter your mood, so that you can smile genuinely at people when you see them. A smile goes a long way. It lets people know that we're full of joy. It lets people know that they're welcome. It lets people know that we're glad to see them. And that's what we want to communicate to everybody, that we are so happy that they've chosen to come and be part of our community and our worship service. You want to make eye contact. You want to take the initiative when you're the official greeter. You know, when someone's a few steps away, you want to look at them. You want to look them in the eye, smile, take a step forward toward them, extend a hand, or however you greet people, and just tell them, "Hey, I'm really glad to see you. Good morning. Welcome. We're glad that you're here." Some kind of initiative, initiate the welcome or the conversation like that. One mistake that some people make is when they see somebody that they don't recognize or that they're not sure that they know, they'll ask something along the lines of, "Are you new here? Is this your first time here?" Something like that. I would discourage you from asking that kind of question. You can ask the same thing, but you can ask it in a slightly different way that prevents the potential embarrassment of, "No, I'm not new here. I come every Sunday. In fact, I sit right next to you. What? I'm not memorable enough?" or something like that. What you want to do instead is when you see somebody that you're not sure that you recognize, you want to ask something more like this. Have we met before? And the best way to ask that is to use an intonation that implies, "I think we might have met before. Have we met before?" Kind of thing. That way, if you have met before, you haven't embarrassed them because you thought that we might have. But if they're new, it still gives them a chance to say, "No, I don't think we've met before. This is my first time here." Something like that. So that's the way to finesse that conversation. If they are new, there's lots of things that you can do to make them feel more comfortable. But if they do let you know that they're new, tell them, "Well, we're really glad you're here. You're among friends. You can just relax and enjoy the worship service this morning." At that point, if I found out someone was new, I would encourage you to walk into the lobby or sanctuary with them, maybe even introduce them to somebody else before returning to the place where you were greeting. Help make them feel at home. You might want to point out where the restrooms are. If they have children, you might want to mention that we have a children's ministry to them. You can there's some brochures just out above the table in the lobby outside of the sanctuary. You could show them where the information is about the children's ministry. Also, especially for parents with young children, you might want to point out that there's a nursery, but also point out that children and kids are welcome in our worship services at all times. And a lot of times, parents, when they're visiting a church for the first time, would rather keep their kids with them. And that is perfectly okay at New Life. And we would want to communicate that they can keep their kids with them, that all children are welcome at all times in our worship services. These are just a few tips to help keep us all on the same page and to make our greeting more effective, because it really is one of the most important ministries of the church. A lot of people come into church, especially people coming for the first time. Some of them are coming for the first time ever into a church building. They have no idea. They're very nervous. Others are coming back to church after having been hurt in some way in a church in their past. They're very nervous. Those people are even suspicious. And a good greeting, a good welcome, somebody who looks genuinely glad to see them without being aggressive, can really help lower barriers so that when they are in the worship service, the message of the music and of the scripture and of the sermon and of the prayers can kind of get past those barriers and get into their hearts and make a difference in their lives, which is why we're doing this to begin with. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions or need any training on how to be a great church greeter, don't hesitate to let me know.